Welcome to this monthly review, where we look at all the recent releases from Games Workshop for the Skirmish and Boxed Game lines. The idea here is to appreciate all the cool stuff that's just come out, rather than getting sucked in with the content hype for the upcoming releases. First up, and straight into some controversy, we have the Kill Team releases. One of the reasons I like doing these monthly updates is we get to look at the things that we can literally just go out and pick up straight away, rather than dreaming about the upcoming releases. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but Galadark sold out pretty fast, so we'll have to wait for the individual boxes to come out. The same happened with the previous box, Soul Shackle, and now we do have the individual releases. Although in this case, just the Extraction Squad and the Terrain, both of which sold out pretty fast on the GW store, but you can still find them in places. Weirdly, no Drukhari or Rulebook, so maybe we'll see those in a few weeks' time. Galadark has the Beastmen vs Squats, and we've seen some minor adjustments with a FAQ that's just come out, so kudos to GW for a quick turnaround on that. The Felgor's main shtick is being too dumb to die, so they stick around for a turn after you kill them. The FAQ stops the ones you just killed from scoring objectives, which was the problem. It looks like they're still pretty strong even after that. The change for the Heartkin was to stop their lugger from handing out plasma weapons to everyone, so it's just a clarification that the re-equip ability can't break the team construction rules. We also have the Ashes of Fate box, which again sold out immediately. Not really a surprise, as the Inquisitor kill team is something people have been after for years and years. This one is pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. It has no scenery, which is a welcome change after the tons of Galadark drain. The box is packed with narrative elements, which is a new direction. All but one kit already exists, so all the Chaos Cultists are part of the Chaos Space Marine line. There are 5 Sisters of Silence and 5 Tempestus Scions, all of which you can already get. The new sprue is the 7 Inquisitorial Agents, which can be built in a number of different ways. Now this will come out as a box by itself eventually. A good tip here is to pick up the box of Hive Scum from Necromunda, which will give you the bodies you need to round out all the options. It's a pretty cool kill team, as you have your core Inquisitorial Agents, and then can round out the team by picking a squad from a selection of the other Imperial kill teams. Moving on to Warcry, we have the 2 warbands from the previous box, although no scenery or book. They do include the cards though, so you have everything you need. We also have the last box in the current season, Nightmare Quest, which has a Stormcast heroes going up against a warband of ghouls as they battle for control of one of the Seraphon Realm Shaper engines. It's a very cool box, and if you want to know more, you can have a look at the review I did on it. Necromunda has the Outland Beastmaster with Millosaurs. These worms have infiltrate and can burrow through impassable terrain, so they can get to places you might not expect. We also have another Necromunda Apocrypha that has more story, more rules, and a scenario in the PDF, all available for free on Warhammer Community. These have been pretty consistent each month and are always great to see. This is focused on the Nomads and opens up the Warrior Spirits option, which allows the Ashwaste Nomads to tap into some strange powers. Definitely a welcome addition to give the Nomad gang a bit of a boost. The scenario along with it sounds like a lot of fun. If you want to play the narrative version of it, it's the Ashwood Stranger leading a gang of outcasts who are currently being attacked by Ash Waste Nomads during a dust storm. One of the attackers is designated the Hunter. In this case, it's a nomad chieftain called the Wind That Walks. The defender wins if they kill the Hunter. The attacker wins if the Hunter takes out half the opposing fighters. The trick here is the Hunter is removed from the board at the end of each turn, and when the attacker wants to activate them, they can place them anywhere outside of sight. So it's a classic scene with either the monster or the hero slowly picking people off. I have to admit, these Apocrypha always impress me, and this one doesn't disappoint. Moving over to Blood Bowl, we have some new star players. Dribble and Drull are a pair of skinks, and Wintergrasp Double Drool is a mutated beastman. The skinks come as a pair, and you have to take them together. They are pretty cheap and specialise at fouling. Wintergrasp has a ton of mutations with prehensile tail, tentacles, and 2 heads. He also has tackle and wrestle, making him a menace to play against, and great for shutting down scoring players. This month, Blood Bowl also got a updated FAQ. The main change was Bomber now has a risk of a turnover. So before you would just do it at the start of your turn. If it worked, great, and if it didn't work, you just cut off your turn. Now you've got to weigh the risk. There's always a potential of it being a turnover. An additional change of note is that double star players, like Dribble and Drull, only count as a single star player choice. Depending on the team tier, different teams can only take a certain number of star players. Tier 1 teams can only take 1 star player, so now they actually have the option to take some of those double star players, which is pretty cool. For Titanicus, we got a re-release of some of the card packs. The extra stratagems are a nice way to add some variety to your games, Titanicus. The Open Engine War card pack in particular is great. It lets you quickly generate random scenarios that are very interesting. Now, these packs are all marked as available to order, so I'm wondering if maybe GW is starting to get its act together, and these are a case of they're printed when needed, rather than just going straight out of print. And that's everything for this month. Typically, Underworlds gets something every second month, and Aeronautica and Warhammer Quest really haven't had much for ages, so no real surprise there. Kill Team and Warcry are finishing up their seasons. We have been given some plans for the future, but it'll be interesting to see how exactly they go ahead with that. Obviously, the Kill Team issues have been a bit of a frustration. We're kind of hoping that once we see the big release of the new 10th edition of 40k, that the supply chain issues that they've got will be resolved and we'll be back on track. It has definitely been annoying not being able to get the nice new miniatures that we're looking forward to, but at least GW know that there's a big interest in these games, and it's something that we're looking forward to and we're willing to spend money on. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Each week I put up a new video talking about one of Games Workshop's specialist games. The goal is always to try and make the best possible 2-player experience. If this is something you'd find interesting, please subscribe to the channel and comment to let me know what you'd like to see in future.